Hi, in the previous tutorial we implemented command line arguments using std.getopt, and now we'll refactor the code a bit. So we have our validation within the handle arguments, but these validations are now custom to this setting struct, so we can move the validation into this struct. So we can also change the code. Right now we have early exits, and we will only print the first error message occurred. So we can change this to returning all the error messages, and then we'll exit within our handle arguments. So let's extract this code. And we'll need to remove all our settings. That is the settings specifier we have there, the symbol. And we should no longer exit, and we should also have a variable containing all the errors, and instead of writing to the standard error, we will change this to appending the error string. And then we return the errors. So now we are validating all the options and returning all the errors as a string. So then we need to validate, and we need to loop over all the errors and print them to the standard error. The standard error, yes. And then we can see if we have any errors, then we should quit. And we see that we get an error message from the compiler here. It states that I cannot implicitly convert a mutable reference to an immutable reference. And as I've stated in an earlier tutorial, this is because you cannot have any mutable references to immutable data, because then it could change. So we'll fix this by saying that we won't be mutating the data. And I also see I had an error there. And then we'll say that if we actually had some errors, then we'll abort. So let's test this. And I have an error in my package file. So we try again. So let's do an answer outside the range. and let's specify too large input, too large, min value larger than max value, and we see that we get both errors. As it is now, we are quitting if we print the help message. And one usual way to show errors when using command line arguments is to also print the help. So we'll change our code to do that. So first off, we should no longer quit if we encounter an error. We should rather print the help and then quit. With a too large answer, you see that we get the error message, but it's on the top and it's difficult to find, so we need to change this to print it after the help. There you have errors. We can also specify or rather write to the user that we have errors in the command line arguments. But now we are also checking for still running the application when we ask for help. So and this also includes when we have errors. So we'll change this to rather not continue the application also after we have asked for help. So we'll use the same technique as we have with the custom answer. And that shouldn't have any options at all. And now we are not continuing the application. So we get a bit better behavior than we had. And of course I am not using this option at all. Next up we have some magic constants in our source code, and that is never a good idea. It is when of the return values here. So we return some special error code. So we'll change this to rather return a symbol. So we have invalid argument, and we also have the loose state. So when the user has didn't guess the correct answer, and we might return an error there too. So let's call it application result instead, because it's not an error. Lost. So let's search for all the exits here. And let's just search for all the exits and then replace it with application invalid. And we also should return an error on failure. And let's also do a application result when you are winning. So we need to change the return to be of integer. And we'll add it as the first argument because we should be returning 0 on success. You don't need to specify this because it is implicit, but it's no harm done, and this will help us easier return the results in our help. So as I stated in the previous tutorial, you can specify some results in the file. So this way it's easier to see what the application returns when when you want to use the program from a script. So let's run it and let's check the results. And here you see invalid argument also when we write help. So we could have another error message, but we don't really care. So let's lose a game here. And you see the lost error here. Another thing here is that we are sending in an option value in our custom handlers, but these custom handlers are made for specific options. So using it on several different options would be a bug on our side. So we'll go back to the assert statement and we'll state that this code has only been made to work with the answer option. So the long or short version. And the same here with our help, has only been made to work with the help. This way we would get an error if we suddenly in the future pass some other option into help that we shouldn't have, or use the custom handler for answer for help, like this one. So that one would compile fine, but this time we get, okay, bad example, as it needs an argument. But here you'll see an assertion failure. The reason why I didn't get the assertion failure in my previous pass was because I compiled the application in release mode. So we'll change this back to handle help. So we'll keep this tutorial short and say that the current improvements made are enough for the time being. So thanks for watching. Bye.